What has gradually disappeared over the last 10 years without people really noticing? Coins on the sidewalk. There used to be this rocky part of a park that I could always find quarters in. Each time we visited, I would spend a lot of time rummaging through those rocks just to find a couple bucks worth of quarters. I made up stories in my head about how a truck full of quarters must have crashed there years ago, and they just never picked them all up. As I got older, I lost interest, but that place was always magical to me. Turns out my dad was dropping quarters in there when I wasn't looking because he knew it made me happy, kept me busy. Ownership. You pay a subscription. You can't fix what you own because it's proprietary. You can't buy outright. Our ownership of things has become a rental service, where they can break or completely remove what we purchased, without consent, at any time, because it was in the terms of service. I will defend physical media until my dying breath. It's awful that we let people trade our ownership in exchange for convenience. Mid-career jobs. The great flattening. Good jobs and the middle class seem to be slipping away. Also early career jobs. Now everyone wants seniors and juniors, but with the pay of an entry-level job. The hyperinflation of titles is insane. I'm looking at companies and orgs with 80 staff and 16 are directors or higher. Everyone wants the cool title, just not the responsibilities. So irritating. Small independent hardware stores. They used to be a small town staple, especially in the Midwest. Almost everyone used to be the oldest business in town, having been open since like 1895. Now, they're all mostly gone and your only alternative is a big box hardware store or ordering on Amazon. It's incredibly depressing. 24-hour businesses. COVID killed them, and it seems a lot of them aren't coming back. I loved walking around Walmart at 2 a.m. The Walmartians were out in full force then. When I lived in FL, I absolutely loved going to Walmart for my shopping at like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. You get dibs on freshly stocked items and no wait lines to pay. I also enjoyed the occasional conversations with the dancers just getting out of work. My local Planet Fitness closes at 7 p.m. on the weekends. 7. God, I miss the 2 a.m. runs. A real live person answering a business telephone. And if you don't believe me, press 5 to repeat this message. Online spaces for kids. When I was a child, we had several online places made for children. Every single children's TV channel had a website with games for kids. There were several online games geared towards children, like Club Penguin, etc. Now if you're a 10-year-old, you either rot your brain with shitty YouTube videos or you rot your brain with social media. Toys and cereal boxes. The devolving of toys and cereal makes me so sad. My children do not get to experience it. I remember the toy was on the top outside the bag, but buggers would open the box and just take it. Then they put it in the bottom under the bag, but they take that too. Then the toy was wrapped in plastic and put somewhere in the actual cereal bag. Then no toys. I remember color-changing spoons and the monkey-linking toys, but they were from the Jungle Book. Those were my faves. The ability to read and comprehend something longer than a paragraph. I'm an English teacher, and this is a serious problem. I have several students who do badly at reading comprehensions because article-sized texts are too long. These aren't lazy kids either. Some of them are very good at other aspects of their work. They all speak 3 languages. But by their own admission, they just don't read. I don't mean they don't read books. I mean they don't even read magazine articles, newspapers, or websites. They literally just read Instagram comments and the like. This is going to have serious consequences later in life when they go into higher education and they cannot study. Or they try and get an office job that requires that they read reports or anything longer than a short email. The convenience and accessibility promised by the internet of the 2000s and 2010s that is gradually taken away from us. I bought a season of a show on Amazon a few years back and they seem to have somehow lost the rights to the original, so now I can only access the dubbed version, which I don't like. The show now is only available on a streaming service that doesn't exist in my country, so I got a VPN, only to find out that I can't fucking pay for the streaming service without a credit card. So now I just ordered the box set again, like I would have done 15 years ago. It's not just the streamers. I remember when website loading times were the topic when talking about browsers, but now every website you open requires for you to take 2 minutes to close, 5 legal questions and pop up. Do you want to register? Horseshit. With the X's hidden in different spots every time. There are ads everywhere, and even if you buy the premium version of things, there are still more ads within the content. All for shit you'd never buy. Places like YouTube remove functioning like and dislike features so that you can't tell what videos you can simply skip. Google also seems to be less efficient than it was 8 years ago, and finding anything online has become a chore. All new security measures they introduce just steal your time and life energy. You want to log into Netflix on your PC, but you can't, because it needs to be registered as a temporary device. They send you an email, but to open the email, they first need you to enter a code they send to your phone, which is in the other room. So you go get it, and once you've entered the code and opened Netflix, you forgot what the fuck you even wanted to watch in the first place. Don't get me started on all the fucking updates everything seemingly needs to do every other week. Small phones. Remember the pre-smartphone era when manufacturers raced to make phones smaller and smaller? Then the iPhone was launched and everyone thought it was too big at the time, but now even that looks tiny. Now even cheap smartphones are huge, like mini tablets, and barely fit into pockets. Fireflies. Pile your leaves up, leave them. Fireflies lay their eggs in leaf litter, and when we bag up leaves and trash, then we're trashing future fireflies. I don't pick up leaf litter on my property, and I have a decent amount of fireflies every summer. My backyard is surrounded by woods on 2 sides, and there is a season every year, June, early July-ish, when they're hatching, and my backyard is absolutely swarmed with fireflies. Like, it almost looks like a fireworks show, there are so many. One of my favorite times of the year. Fireflies, butterflies, all insects are dwindling thanks mostly to overuse of insecticides. Quality clothing and furniture. Everything is plywood and polyester, even at the better stores. I live in an area where people will put things that are still usable on the curb, and have been rescuing solid wood furniture when I can for years now. I got an antique china cabinet, a small drop leaf table, dining room chairs, curio shelves, and a plant stand that way. Oak, maple, cherry, mahogany, pine. I don't think people know what they have, or are just more interested in modern-looking things. Their loss. With a little cleaning, a bit of wood glue, sometimes a refinishing, I end up with beautiful pieces that will probably outlive me. Skype. It's amazing really that the provider of video calls disappeared during Corona. Literally didn't know of Zoom until COVID hit. Pre-COVID, Skype had hit the point where the brand had to become a verb. You didn't video call someone, you Skyped them. COVID should have been their moment, and they absolutely shit the bed on it. People answering phone calls. I quit answering as my spam calls now average 4 per hour. In the least sarcastic sense possible, critical thinking and self-reflection. It's really a struggle to engage with people these days who aren't capable of putting their bias and personal beliefs aside to think big picture or critically about any issue. People just jump straight to personal insults, fallacies, and needing to feed their ego. Childhood. As a parent, I feel fighting an uphill battle by keeping our screen free. Kids need to be taught how to play, how to interact with other humans. They don't even go out to play with friends anymore. It's all online. Physical checks as payment. I see less and less of those in my business. Cash was on its way out as well, but we have seen an increase in that. Ability to read a physical map. The good old $800 beater car that would actually run and drive. Good luck finding anything nowadays that will run and drive for less than $3,000. People reading actual books in parks and public transport. It's a joy to see someone on the train with a book in their hands. I always smile and take a squiz at what they're reading and do a little squee if it's something I've read. Oh, here's a good one. Clowns. Quick backstory, I did social work for a bit, and my guy liked clowns a lot. We tried to find clown-related stuff and it was impossible. Clowns in the traditional sense, children's entertainers, not creepy Pennywise art ones, have been pretty much completely phased out of American culture. There are more clown characters in TV shows, advertising, movies, parks, etc. You pretty much won't find clowns entertaining children's parties or charities. Think about how prevalent they were before, like 2010. Ronald McDonald was one of the biggest mascots on the planet. He's not their spokesman anymore. Bozo was still incredibly popular. Lunette had a popular TV show. They were hired to do tricks for birthday parties. The Shriners had clown shows. After the remake of it, and those viral creepy clown sightings, they were completely dropped by the public. The only depiction of clowns in the media now is the killer creepy clown trope. I think about this sometimes and it legitimately bumps out. Home phones. Young people and couples ever buying a home. Unless of course, you have generational wealth. The ability to hold a conversation with people that hold a different POV. It seems today that everyone just wants their opinion validated. It is nice to feel validated, but I only ever felt like I have actually somewhat improved when I had to properly support my stance. The thing is, only if I can properly support my ideas I can say that I really understand what I'm saying. And if I'm wrong, I learned something I didn't before or, at the very least, I can have a better understanding of what we are talking about. Fun hobbies. Everything is a side hustle or has developed an ultra-competitive pro scene that is so overly intimidating it just ruins the entire thing time. If you're not the best, you're worthless. GG no. No one wants to play with you, nah bro, you're the one ruining it. Cringe much? What has gradually disappeared over the last 10 years? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.